Hey guys, have you noticed that your roses look a little bit funky this year? Maybe you're seeing some weird abnormal growth on them. Well, I was out earlier this morning getting some gardening chores done and I was inspecting my roses and I noticed that they have some deformed growth on them. I'm going to show you guys what I did about that today, and I'm also going to show you guys some new perennials that I purchased and where I placed them. Rosette is a plant virus that contributes to deformed growth on roses. It is transferred by a specific type of mite that travels from one rose to another. If your rose is infected, you will see very red new growth that never turns green, thick stems with more thorns than usual, flower buds in small clusters as seen on my plant. Also, flowers that do open can look kind of deformed and foliage may take on a witch's broom effect by having multiple stems emerge from one single point. I have a shady wooded area behind my property with multiflora rose growing in it. Studies show that this is a host plant where the virus may come from. It is considered very invasive and a weed in my area. When the mites feed on the infected Rosa multiflora, they're so small that they travel to another rose by wind, since they actually cannot fly. I noticed while I was editing this video that I didn't really actually record any footage of me removing my rose bush. So I'm really sorry about that. But essentially what I did was I dug up the entire rose bush. I tried to get as much of the roots as I could, and I put it in a trash bag to go into the trash. I did not put it into a lawn bag. I did not put it into any kind of compost bin because I don't want that to spread. And it's sad to say I probably won't be growing any roses at all because I'm very likely to encounter this problem again. So it's definitely something that I want to avoid. Needless to say, even though I was trying to be as careful as I could in removing that rose bush so that I wouldn't get the thorns scratching up against my skin or my arms, it still happened. But it's out of the garden bed and I'm excited to see how everything else grows in there. I replaced them with new perennials, and here I'm going to show you in the next few clips exactly what I planted. My selections for this bed are Agastache Kudos Coral, Sassy Summer Lemon Yarrow, and Elijah Blue Fescue Grass. This bed is in an area that's full sun, so it gets beaten by the sun all day, every day. So I wanted to pick plants that really enjoy that type of climate, especially in the summertime when things get really hot and humid. I'm also trying to opt for plants in this area that spread over time or that self-seed, so that way I can fill in any sparse areas. So here's my bed all planted out. Here I put the 5 Agastache plants. Over there I have some black-eyed Susans in a barrel planter. Here I have a hydrangea. I can't really remember the exact names of all of these plants, but I'll put them on the screen for you guys and also in the description. These are coneflowers that I started from seed. Over here as well, next to this Phlox. I purchased this Phlox because I do want to use it more as a ground cover, but it stays very low and compact. I actually have to buy more of them. And here I have another coneflower seedling. These are much further along. I have a drift of the yellow colored Yarrows. Over there I have another Phlox. That one is a taller variety. These are newly planted plants. I put them in last fall. Some of them I put in the spring this year. And then I have a blue a drift of 3 Elijah Blue Fescue. I did lose a plant here. Here I actually, where these twigs are, I had some low growing Shasta daisies, and I don't know what happened. Maybe they got too much water. We've been getting a ton of water here, which is great, but I'm trying to choose plants that are tougher. I know hydrangeas love their water, but the reason why I put it back here is because out front we get a lot of deer pressure, and I did have a hydrangea, a big leaf hydrangea to be exact, out by one of my front walkway beds, and I had one out there actually. Let me show you guys. See if I can zoom in. So next to this last garage door, there is an Abelia there. Beautiful Abelia. I actually planted that out a couple years ago, and I took the hydrangea out of there. That's where it was, because the deer kept eating it down, and it never flowered for me. Usually those types of hydrangeas are not hardy in our zone. The buds get frozen off. So this is a different hydrangea here. Again, I'll put the name on the screen, and I put it back here specifically so that I can enjoy the blooms. I don't mind giving it supplemental water if I need to throughout the summer months, and I just want to kind of explore and see what does well, what doesn't do well. That's all part of gardening, trial and error. So and I feel like with the addition of ground covers, it may do okay in here. So I do plan on putting in a lot of ground cover, planting in densely here, little by little. And eventually I want to expand this garden bed and kind of carry it down through this hill here and connect it somehow to that bed down at the bottom over there. So tell me, have you ever dealt with rosette in one of your rose bushes, and did you end up getting rid of them? What did you replace them with? If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like and also subscribe to my channel. Your support really means a lot to me. I'll see you next time.